Celebrate now, libs. Your merry impeachments and all your other stupid stuff, Rachel Bidet. Knock yourselves out. Have a good time with Mike the Bonus at your party right there, humiliating yourselves, the Washington Post, and all your entities. Good. Knock yourselves out. I hope you enjoy it. Have fun at the party. The party's going to be over real soon. Martha McCallum, who hosts the 7 p.m. Eastern Time show on Fox News, interviewed Attorney General Bill Barr. It's going to air in full, I believe, tonight, but some of the portions of it have leaked out, and some of it had been promoted by Fox. I want to play two that are just, again, that the Democrats took a victory lap and Jim Comey over the IG report, which was damning. And the fact, Joe, that that's just the beginning, that this is about to get a whole lot worse when Barr and Durham released their own report in the spring, is hilarious. Like I said, I used to respect these idiots because I thought they were tactically smart. Now they are officially the dumbest party in Washington, D.C. There's no doubt about it. Here's video number one. Bill Barr just completely laying waste to the narratives. And I want you to pay special attention. Martha McCallum asks him, hey, are you just looking into the DOJ stuff, or are you looking into the CIA, the intel community? And Barr says something about looking into private companies too. Oh boy, check this out.
Do you believe that Durham's investigation is broader scoped in terms of the intelligence agencies that are being looked at?
Oh, yes. He's not just looking at the FBI. He's looking at other agencies and also private and departments and also private actors. And so it's a much broader investigation. And also he's not just looking at the FISA aspect of it. He is looking at all the conduct, both before and after the election.
What is he saying here, folks? He says, we're not just looking at the FISA process either, which is all Horowitz was tasked with. Look at the FISA by the FBI. What does that mean? I thought, according to the Spygate co-conspirators, Joe, and the police state hacks, that was the whole case. The whole case, Joe, right, was just that the FBI made some mistakes, spied on an innocent American. My bad, so sad. Is that not the story they've told us?
Golly,
man. Well, that's what we heard. Well, that's not what Barr just said. Now, if you initiate the Barr translator, what Barr is actually saying is something I've told you on the show for now 2.5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the scandal is called Spygate, not Trumpgate. The FISA process was designed to target the Trump team, not the spying operation in general. If you didn't listen to yesterday's show because you were caught up in the impeachment hearings, you made a big mistake. Please listen to yesterday's show where we cover the Pied Piper candidates. Folks, I believe our intelligence community was circumventing U.S. laws, working with foreign partners to spy on possibly more than just Donald Trump. That had nothing to do with the FISA. Really? Oh, really? Remember, Lisa Page at one point, FBI lawyer, is confused about the CIA and where they're getting their information from. You won't be if you listen to yesterday's show. I'm telling you where they were getting their information from. They were getting them from Five Eyes intelligence partners who were supposed to be our friends, who were helping the Obama administration spy on candidates. It's that simple. That's what Barr's talking about. Oh, well, we're just not looking at the FISA. In other words, the formal stuff. We're looking at some other stuff. Then he says, we're looking at some private individuals and companies. What did he mean by that? Well, again, some of you who listen to my show every day probably already know. Folks, Christopher Steele, I'm convinced, was not the only author of the dossier. As I've said to you many times, I believe Glenn Simpson had significant input. I believe that based on some of his wife's own comments and Glenn Simpson's past recordings. But I also believe there was another contributor to the dossier, and I believe that contributor to the dossier, and when you find out who it is, it's going to be explosive, because I believe that contributor to the dossier may have been freelancing and out there on their own. The question's been for a very long time, just how many people were feeding Steele information? And were some of them out there in a money-making enterprise working for themselves, private individuals, as Barr makes clear, private companies? Folks, was the Pentagon Office of Net Assessment who paid Stefan Halper, who was spying for the U.S. government, on the Trump campaign team members? Were your tax dollars being used to pay private individuals and other companies to spy on behalf of your government? Initiate Barr translator Dan. I think Barr may have some stuff on that. You think he's talking about private individuals? You think he's talking about like Pizza Hut, like private companies like that? He's talking about political opposition firms possibly paid by the U.S. taxpayer to spy on U.S. candidates for office. Only the biggest scandal of our time. He's also talking about information from foreign intelligence partners flushed into the U.S. system to circumvent U.S. spying laws and then used later on to obtain a FISA to basically hoax the FBI into believing they had a real case. All right, let's play cut number 2, the end of the show here, but this is Bill Barr entirely discrediting and debunking the nonsense Jim Comey propagates every day of his life. That, remember when Jim Comey said in one of his interviews, hey, listen, man, I couldn't control the investigation. There were some mistakes, but it was 7 layers down from me. That's false. Listen to Bill Barr totally discredit that nonsense.
He said, I was 7 steps removed from what was going on. The director doesn't get involved in these kinds of things, the actual investigation. Do you believe that?
No. I think that one of the problems with what happened was precisely that they pulled the investigation up to the executive floors, and it was run and bird-dogged by a very small group of very high-level officials. And the idea that this was 7 layers below him is simply not true.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Mr. Attorney General, out of respect, I shouldn't say that. I really like this guy. Folks, that's a total lie. Jim Comey's headquarters team did the exact opposite of what they should have done. These counterintelligence investigations are usually handled in the field. They purposely removed it from the field and took it to headquarters so Comey and his team could run it. This is a total fabrication. He's making the whole thing up. The whole thing. Because that's what Jim Comey does. Because Jim Comey's a liar. And a fraud.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.